I'm a presidential candidate in the upcoming presidential elections in Liberia.
You've issued stand statements backing the Liberian International Human Rights Commission on the extradition of a former police chief from Liberia to Sierra Leone. First off, what are the major concerns from your side?
Liberia is a founding member of the United Nations. Liberia is the oldest independent republic in Africa and operates or should operate on the basis of the rule of law. That was what the founding fathers of this country wanted Liberia to be. A country that would be governed by law. A country that would protect human rights. We are the only country on earth called Liberia. So this should be a land of liberty. It should actually be a paradise for human rights protection. That's why the Black Americans came from America, and during the liberation struggle, a lot of people from all over Africa, including Mandela, lived here. So Liberia should not be involved in violation of human rights that involve other people from around the world. This action taken, the recent action taken by the government of Liberia violates our international obligation under the Refugee Convention of 1951 and its optional protocol of 1967. We are not supposed to send anybody back to his country who comes here for refuge. We ourselves were taking refuge in other poor countries, in the past. Honor Doe, Honor Taylor, a lot of Liberians went to other poor countries. And those countries upheld their international obligation by keeping those Liberians in those countries. Because when you come here and you say that I have a well-funded fear of persecution, that when I go back I will be harmed, the Liberian government is under obligation to keep you here. What the government did violated even our own law. Under the criminal procedure law, you are supposed to have to extradite the president if there's an extradition treaty between the two countries. There's no extradition treaty between Liberia and Sierra Leone.
The government in a press release said they are keeping to, agreements made between Sierra Leone, Liberia and Guinea some 28 years ago. Violating the United Nations Charter, like you've put it, what consequences does this have to Liberia?
Well, no, it's not good for our country because the United Nations can sanction Liberia. The United Nations can take other actions against Liberia. And so it is not good for Liberia. It's not good for the image of Liberia. It's not good for the standing of Liberia in the world as the oldest independent republic in Africa. Okay. So that the mutual is called the Mutual Defense and Non-Aggression Treaty among Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea.
Yeah.
It was meant. Here is how it operates. If Guinea is attacked under that agreement, then Liberia and Sierra Leone should come to the defense of Guinea. If Liberia is attacked by another country, then Guinea and Sierra Leone should come to Liberia's defense. So mutual defense. And under that agreement, Guinea should not attack Liberia or Sierra Leone. Liberia should not attack Sierra Leone or Guinea. There is nothing under that agreement that excuses Liberia to violate its international obligation under the Convention of Refugee.
Where do you draw the line? Because an attack on the Sierra Leone government is equivocally an attack on the Liberia or the Guinean government by the non-aggression treaty. Right. So here is somebody being investigated with allegations of failing subversion of the government of Sierra Leone. Where do you draw the line?
So that agreement does not go to internal conflict. All right? It does not go to internal conflict. So there is no excuse for Liberian violation. Otherwise, when the rebels came from Ivory Coast and attacked Liberia, from Guinea and attacked Liberia, or when the rebels Fude Sankara and others came from Liberia and attacked Sierra Leone would have said Liberia is in violation of the treaty. No, that treaty does not apply to what happened to the former police officer from Sierra Leone.
Now that the subversion allegation is ongoing, and the former police chief Mohamed Yeti Toure has been handed over to the Sierra Leone government, do you think there is still remedy for a quick fix from the Liberian part?
The mayor has already gone. There is nothing that the Liberian government can do.
So
because it's the Liberian government that willingly turned the mayor over without due process. Without due process, under the law, even if there's an extradition treaty between Liberia and any country, when you come, the foreign minister of Sierra Leone will have sent a letter to the foreign minister, a request to the foreign minister of Liberia, and the foreign minister of Liberia will have sent that request to the justice minister, and the justice minister will have then gone and arrested the man, taken him to court, to the magistrate court, and will have given access to due process. That was not done. What was done recently was arbitrary, illegal, unconstitutional, and in violation of Liberia's international obligation, was a violation of international human rights law.
So by your knowledge, what was done?
What was done was a violation.
How was it done? Do you have idea?
I heard I'm informed that the man was just taken and given to some soldiers from Sierra Leone, and they actually, handcuffed him and started humiliating him right in Nigeria, and they took him to Sierra Leone. We are worried whether the man will even survive in Sierra Leone.
As a seasoned human rights activist, you are on record over the years for handing over the former war leader, Charles Taylor. What is the difference between Charles Taylor's case and the current arrest of the former...
So Charles Taylor was indicted. In this case, the man was not even indicted. Charles Taylor was indicted by the special court in Sierra Leone. That indictment was sealed, and the president of South Africa, the president of Nigeria, other African leaders said, look, peace is important, let it not be trial now. He was handed over to the Nigerian President Obasanjo, given refuge in Calabar, and he was told, the agreement was that after the election in Liberia, the Liberian government can request for him, and then there was a resolution that once he's set foot in Liberia, the Liberian government should turn him over to the United Nations. That's what the Liberian government did.
And at the time you were Secretary General?
I was the Solicitor General. Okay. And I represented the governor of Liberia at the airport to turn Taylor over to
Were there criticisms of this kind during the handing over?
No, there was not. Because there was an international agreement. This thing was done procedurally. Right. This one was even done in secret. By the time we heard that the Sierra Leonean former police chief had been arrested, he had already been sent to Sierra Leone.
Right. Let's switch our interest now to your journey as a seasoned human rights activist and, of course, a legal representative in Liberia for almost 2 decades and more. I've learned. Let's talk around the political shift from human rights activism into politics. How did that dream come?
Before I go to that, I want to call upon all the civil society activists in Sierra Leone not to keep quiet on this, not to support their government in this conspiratorial venture between President Marabio and President Weah, so that they can illegally protect each other's regime and violate the rights of their citizens respectively. Because what has happened now is that by President Weah turning this man over to Marabio, it means that all of us politicians, political activists here, if our government accuses us of treason or anything and we run to Sierra Leone, which is the place that we want to fight, simply because it's an English-speaking country, we don't run to Guinea or Ivory Coast fast, that Marabio will turn us over to President Weah and our rights will be violated. So this is a conspiracy against the people of the 2 minor regional countries, and I'm calling upon civil society activists in Sierra Leone not to remain quiet and to vigorously protect the right of the former police chief so that he can be according to the process.
Right.
But having said, I want to say, look, we human rights activists usually call upon government to do the right thing, to respect the rule of law, to respect the rights of people, to govern properly, not to steal. Because you see, corruption is a violation of human rights. is a hard crime against the people because corruption denies people of good educational system, of good health system, of good road network, and even food security and other things in the country. So we've been speaking about these issues over and over. I've been an activist from the time I was 22 years old at the University of Liberia in 1978. And I worked in government. I've shown that you can be in government and not be corrupt. I was Solicitor General, I was Minister of Labor, and I didn't put my hand in the cookie jar. So there's nothing in government that automatically makes anyone corrupt. It's a deliberate plan by those corrupt people to go into government and steal. And I want to tell them that you can run a decent government.
Okay, so
you want to come to government to govern by rule of law, respect the rights of Liberian people, make sure that government is a dignified place where we sweep corruption from government.
Right.
We sweep corruption from government. Corrupt people do not belong in the decent public offices. Corrupt people are rogues, they are thieves, they belong in jail, not in offices. So I intend to arrest corrupt people, if I dismiss them, subject them to investigation, and when they are found guilty, the stolen properties will be taken from them and turned over to the Liberians.
Do you have instances of corruption in Liberian government? Do you have instances of corruption in Liberian government?
Corruption is the norm in Liberia, especially under this government. As soon as President Weah came to power, he announced that he didn't have money because there was a child support case against him in America, and he said he didn't have money. As soon as he became president, in 8 months, he built 47-story building, 47 condominiums in a gated compound. As soon as he did that, that was a leadership show. Every minister started stealing. So even in the midst of abject poverty, new 4 or 5-story buildings are coming up. They are living in a different world than the Liberian people. So today, Liberia is the 10th poorest country in the world, the #1 dirtiest country in Africa. Yet, President Weah and his squad of thieves are stealing so much, and therefore it has put Liberia in a virtual ICU, intensive care unit. If President Weah is voted back to power, Liberians will be committing a national suicide. And that is what I want to stop.
Right. How has the journey been? You're into the campaigns already. Your National Election Commission declared campaign on the 5th. And how has the journey been so far?
The journey has been good for me. I was the honored dog. Now I'm counted among the 3 top. So there's progress. And my first time entering politics. And because of the way we are progressing, the 2 parties, one former ruling party, Unity Party, and the current ruling party, CDC, are engaging in violence. They are nervous. They are getting desperate that they may lose power. The old ruling party, I call them the old money eaters, are desperate to come back to regain what they've lost. And the new money eaters, the CDC, now is fighting hard to protect its stance so that it can keep stealing. It is this anger that they are displaying, engaging in violence and hurting Liberian people or making their partisans to protect their position so that they can get power at all costs. It's all because of greed. It is not in the interest of Liberian people.
I've been in Liberia for a few days and I see a lot of youths are supporting your campaign. Why is this so? Because
I have a track record of doing good. The Bible is not wrong. Good name is better than silver and gold. I have not silver and gold, but I have what it takes to change Liberia's story for the better, and the young people know that.
You are into the race set for October 10th, along with 19 others. How difficult or easy do you think the race will be?
For me, it appears difficult, but it's not. Because I am telling the Liberian people, the election was being won on track record and good message. Now my message for improving education and providing access to all Liberian children to go to public schools where their copybooks and pencils and everything will be provided by government 100%. My message that we should establish free technical and vocational schools in the 15 counties of Liberia. My message that we can eliminate illiteracy in 2 years by making students from the junior high level, giving them stipend to teach at least 10 persons, 10 illiterate people in their communities every day. is catching. My message that pregnant women, children under the age of 5, and all Liberians 65 years or up should be given free medical treatment by all government hospitals and clinics is catching. My message that as president, I will go to government hospital and clinic myself for treatment, and I will go there for medical checkup, and I will pay surprise visits to government hospital and clinic all over the country is catching. My message that we will mechanize rice farming in Liberia so that Liberia can become self-sufficient in rice production and even become an exporter of rice is relieving and is catching. And people know that everything I say I've done, everything I've said in the past I've done. My message that we'll put public work stations in each of the countries in Liberia to build more roads and to maintain those roads while we are paving the roads for people to move freely, because freedom of movement is a right under international law and under our constitution. And government has an obligation not to violate people's rights but to make them move freely. Are all simple and doable things that are really attractive people. I was the first person in the Republic of Liberia, Solicitor General, to introduce a system whereby only law school graduates are counted to the chief prosecutor in the state. Before I became Solicitor General, some of the prosecutors were not even high school graduates. So people know me as a transformer. You know, everywhere at the Ministry of Labor, I increased employment for Liberians by increasing the work permit fee from $400 to $1,000 that made it prohibitive for the Lebanese, Indians, and other people to take jobs that Liberians should do. And when their employers drop them, they employ Liberians and increase. So people know that I was president of the Bar Association. I elevated the standard of law practice in this country, you know, and I made the bar self-sufficient and self-reliant, you know. So people know my track record. The only thing they tell you is council of government is too straight. You know, when you become president, people will not chop small. No. And the people who hate me, they say that, but I say they are promoting me, because government is not a place to steal. Government is a place to serve, not to steal. And I think it will do that a better Liberia is possible. That's why they tell me, oh, he doesn't have money and he's too straight. Why don't they want straight president in this country? The majority of Liberian people will vote for me, and the less than 1% that are chopping all our money will be kicked out of power. We'll strip them from power and have a free world.
So that is why the broom is here.
The broom is one string of broom cannot sweep. And it's easier to break it. Together it's difficult to break. So I will unite the Liberian people in order to seek protection for Nigeria, and Liberia will become progressive, continuously peaceful and prosperous.
Liberia will be using the biometric system for the very first time. Is this the development for Liberia, or what do you think of this?
We are nervous because it has never been tested before. It should have been tested in some by-election so that we know how it happened. It never happened before, but we'll be monitoring and watching the election commission closely to make sure that the election is free, fair, and transparent.
What next for you after the election? What is in store?
I'm going to be president. At least that's what I hear. Okay. Most of the young people in this country.
Okay. If you don't know it, but anyway, yeah.
I'm a law professor. I'm already helping the Liberian people as a law professor. So right now, as I speak, there are even some senior police officers who are in the criminal law class at the University of Liberia. I'm also called a poor man's lawyer. I will still be representing a lot of poor people, a lot of legally challenged people. I will still be speaking, I will still be writing.
Okay. So
I will still be doing the things that I do now.
In 5 key points, tell Liberians why they should vote for you.
Liberians should vote for me because I will strengthen the rule of law. I will combat corruption. I have a 12-count prescription, I call it Gongo's prescription for ending corruption. And I will expand the economy to create jobs and increase the revenue base of Liberia for the government of Liberia to get enough money to take care of all of the social services that I talk about: education, health, food production, and road construction.
Your party symbol symbolizes strength, and the election is very close. By way of wrapping up, what do you have to tell Liberians about protecting Liberia?
I will tell Liberians to resist the temptation of being violent, irrespective of who is the politician that is telling them to be violent. We have a national obligation to maintain the peace that the international community helps us to bring. Liberia must remain peaceful. Let them question the politicians for what they want. They will not vote because of lack of rights, money, liquor, or election time strategies and election time humanitarian and political interest. When people invest, they get profit. They come to corruption. Let them vote based on people's track record. In Liberia, we usually say, if you say you can plant a new mat, show the old mat. Let them vote for people's track record and not what people will give them during this election time. Because if we don't do so, this country is going to go further than it's already the 10th poorest country in the world, the dirtiest country in Africa. We cannot go anywhere in a further time.
All right. Thank you very much.